Hi everyone, we're just going to go through quickly and just give a bit of an update refresher on how to create bubble charts. So unlike a lot of other charts that we're going to have here, you'll notice that generally the amount of data given isn't just over one or two different columns, but we're going to have them over at least a few, so generally about three. So I'm going to go through a couple different ways so we can set these up. So you can go ahead and take a pick and feel whatever you feel most comfortable with. So from this one here under bubble, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight only the data given between these for three sets. I'm just going to go into insert at the top, and then I'm going to go to this one here for XY scatter. From here, I'm just going to go ahead and select the bubble chart I'd like, and that's going to create that as is. I can go ahead also, and I can use this one here, switch row and column data, to switch exactly how I want things displayed. I believe this one would be the best for what we have at the moment. So I'm going to make sure that we have things that adhere to conventions. So I'm going to say this is products sold per region. I'm going to quickly go to chart design under add chart element and give this a couple of axis titles, both primary, horizontal, and a vertical. I'm just going to say this is sales in, let's say, AUD, and from here on, it may be a bit hard to read, but we can see when we hover over this that for our series point A, that it is 42, 110,000, and the size is 33%. So that is our x-axis at 42, our y-axis 110,000, and our size indicating this actual size of the bubble. So we know that since our x-axis is 42 here, it must be for units sold. So I'm going to say this is going to be units sold, like so. And now I want to display how much profit is made within these here. So I can go ahead and select, so only these bubbles are highlighted with these other circles around them. And I can go into format at the top here, into my format pane, and I can change a couple of things here. I can change the width of the bubbles to say whether the size represents the width or the size. And if I feel they're too close together, I can also scale the bubbles down a little bit to something like 75. May also just increase this to ensure that I get as little overlap as possible as well. Perfect. Now, I can click on this fill and line, and I can go ahead and I can vary colors by point, like so, and they'll do it automatically, or I can select them individually, and I can go ahead and change the color there as well. Now, to make sure that we can clearly identify how big these sizes are supposed to be, and according to this data here for profit percentages, I'm going to click on this bubble, and from here, under chart design, I can add the chart element to have some data labels. Within our data labels here, I can just add them to wherever I wish to the left, right, or above. And I can also click on this More Data Labels Options button as well. When I do so, it will bring this format pane to the side as well. Once I have my format pane, I can change my label options through this one here, and I can state exactly what I want these to be. So I can make this as a bubble size to show that This is going to be 22%, 21%. You can also change it as value from cells. And then simply select the cells like so. So now I can see that from here, product sold per region has made the sales in Australian dollars, the amount of units sold, and I can clearly see Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, Tasmania, and the percentage of profit they've made within each. As this is one way, a difficult thing with this one is it's difficult to add a legend, as they are only going to give this as one form here. And unfortunately, it's really difficult to edit these directly. So there is another way if we wish to be able to display our legends a little bit easier, though it is a little bit more tedious. What we can do instead is we can go to Insert at the top, and we can go into our bubbles down here, like so. Rather than selecting the data, we can just go into Select Data at the top, and we can simply go ahead and just add all these one by one. So we can go ahead and choose our name as Vic. We can change our X values as units sold, our Y values as sales. We can change our size as the profit shown. So it is a little bit more tedious, but it does give us greater control over what we can display for our legend and values. So I'll go ahead and just quickly add all these, like so, plus again. Now, as we get to this point here, I can just go ahead and push on OK, and it will generate like that. Now, like the previous method, we can go ahead and add our things like access titles. We can go ahead and give a chart title here. And what we can do here is, once we've got these here, we can add another chart element here, and we can actually add a legend here now. So the legend will come through with all the proper names for each, and then what we can do is now we're able to add the data labels we need, and simply by clicking on each one of these, we can have to again individually take them over to our format pane, and we can simply just show our bubble size. If we'd like to, we can also make it a value from sales, just to really demonstrate that this is for a profit percentage. And finally here. Perfect. So now we can clearly see each of these profit percentages tied to each one of these data points we've had this up manually.